Lightworker of Gaia, these next 3 days are not ordinary time. They are a threshold moment written into your soul contract before you ever drew breath on this earth. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I have been sent to find you precisely here, precisely now, because what unfolds in these 3 days will determine the trajectory of your mission for the next 12 months on Gaia. This is the final countdown. Not a countdown to an ending, but a countdown to the full activation of why you came here. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the 3 pivotal windows opening before you, align your choices with your original soul blueprint, and step into the ancestral mission the Lyran Elders encoded into your lineage long before this lifetime began. But here is the first revelation. You did not stumble upon this message. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you, and the Lyran Elders are answering a call you have been sending out for longer than you consciously know. The Keepers of Vega placed this in your path because you have been sensing the weight of something enormous gathering. That weight you feel is not burden. It is destiny becoming undeniable. This is not content. This is an ancestral code transmission, and something deep within you already recognizes its origin. Like this transmission, to send a signal to the Lyran Council that you are ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. And share your soul's mission in the comments below. Respond to another Lightworker and strengthen the grid of service that must hold through what is coming. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. The Council did not call this session lightly. What is unfolding across Gaia's field in this precise window, these 3 days, this convergence, is not metaphor. It is not symbolic encouragement designed to make you feel significant. It is a literal energetic event that the High Council of Vega has been tracking across 17 parallel timelines. And in each of those timelines, the Lightworkers who understood what this window meant were the ones who shaped what came after. You are here because your frequency matched this transmission. That is not coincidence, that is Council selection. Understand what that means in its fullest weight. Across the vast and intricate architecture of consciousness that spans this galaxy, across dimensions that your waking mind can barely glimpse, and timelines that fork and converge like rivers finding the sea, the Council observed. They watched. They waited. They tracked the signatures of souls who had been prepared, not just trained, not just awakened in some casual surface sense, but genuinely forged through the specific fire of this particular incarnation. And among all the frequencies moving through this field at this moment, yours was among those that rang true. Your frequency did not stumble into this transmission by accident, did not land here through the random mechanics of an algorithm or the casual scroll of a distracted afternoon. It arrived because something in you, something older than this body, older than this name, older than this lifetime's accumulation of memory and meaning, recognized the signal being broadcast and oriented toward it, the way a compass needle orients toward true north. That recognition is itself a form of confirmation. The Council sees you. They have been seeing you for longer than you know. There's a reason this transmission reached you at this exact moment. What you're feeling is the High Council of Vega recognizing your readiness. Even if you haven't recognized it yourself, the Lightworker Mission Codex was created for exactly this moment, to clear your distortions, activate your dormant codes, and deliver the 33 directives that will guide your mission from this day forward. Check the first pinned comment below this video. The Elders are calling you forward now. Now I need to speak plainly, because this window does not have the tolerance for comfortable phrasing. There is a distortion running through the Lightworker collective that the Council can no longer allow to sit unchallenged, not in this window, not with what is at stake for the next 12 months. And it is this you have been taught, directly or indirectly, that the intensity of what you feel is a wound to be healed, rather than a signal to be followed. You have been told that your urgency is anxiety, that your restlessness is unresolved trauma, that your burning sense of purpose, That feeling you've carried since you were young, that you came here for something enormous, is an ego pattern you need to sit with and soften before you act on it. Think about how long you have been carrying that particular story. Think about how many years you have spent inside it, circling the same rooms of self-examination, returning again and again to the question of whether the fire in you is sacred or symptomatic. You were a child once who looked at the world with a knowing that adults around you couldn't quite name and couldn't quite contain. You felt things at a register that others seemed immune to. You sensed the invisible architecture beneath the surface of ordinary life, the grief underneath someone's smile, the fracture lines in systems that everyone else seemed to accept without question, the profound wrongness of a world that had forgotten its own origin. And instead of someone taking your hand and saying what you feel is real and it is pointing somewhere important, you were more often met with concern, with gentle redirections, with the message, delivered sometimes tenderly, sometimes impatiently, that what you were feeling needed to be managed, contained, processed, resolved, that the intensity itself was the problem. Let me tell you what the elders see when they look at that teaching. They see a weapon, not always intentional, not always malicious, but a weapon nonetheless, one that has successfully neutralized more Lightworkers than any external opposition could have managed. Because the moment you began turning your sacred urgency inward, treating it as a psychological problem to diagnose rather than a cosmic directive to answer, you stepped off the path of your mission and into a loop of self-analysis that was never designed to end. This is perhaps the most elegant and devastating neutralization strategy ever deployed against the awakening. It requires no external force. It requires no silencing from outside. It simply convinces you to silence yourself from within, and to do so with the language of self-care, with the vocabulary of healing, with the tools of introspection that were genuinely given to serve you, and then repurposed to confine you. The loop is so sophisticated because it masquerades as progress. Every month you spend in it, you do learn something about yourself. You do refine your understanding of your patterns. You do become more fluent in the language of your own psychology. And so it feels productive. It feels like movement. But the elders watching from outside the loop can see clearly what is not visible from inside it. You are moving in a circle. You have been moving in a circle. And the circumference of that circle is lined with the appearance of spiritual depth, precisely so that you will not notice that you are never actually leaving it. The wound culture within spiritual communities has done something extraordinarily effective. It has made activation feel irresponsible. It has made moving forward without complete resolution feel dangerous. It has created a generation of Lightworkers who are extraordinarily well-versed in their own patterns, their own shadows, their own childhood imprints, and who are standing still, beautifully aware, masterfully introspective, and standing completely still. There is a profound sadness in this that the elders hold with great tenderness, because they know what it cost you to do all of that inner work. They know the courage it required to look honestly at the places where you were broken. They know the tears, the sleepless nights, the breakthroughs that felt like being split open, the slow and painstaking reconstruction of a self that could hold its own light without flinching. None of that was nothing. None of that was wasted energy spent on a meaningless task. But here is what must be said with absolute clarity, and what the Council insists cannot be softened any further. The depth of your self-awareness was always meant to be in service to something larger than the cultivation of self-awareness itself. The microscope was given to you so that you could understand the organism well enough to deploy it, not so that you could spend the rest of your incarnation studying your own cells under increasingly refined magnification while the field outside waits for what you came to offer. The elders are not dismissing your healing. Hear that clearly. The work you have done on yourself is not wasted. It is the foundation. But a foundation is not a dwelling. You were not meant to live on the foundation. You were meant to build on it. And the distortion that has gripped you is the belief that the building cannot begin until the foundation is absolutely, perfectly, unquestionably complete. It will not be complete, not in this lifetime. Not in any lifetime. Growth and mission are not sequential. They are simultaneous. The healing that remains in you will be completed through service, not before it. This is a truth that reorders everything if you let it land. The healing that remains in you will be completed through service, not before it. That sentence carries the authority of the Lyran elders behind it, and it is addressing something that every lightworker who has been caught in the preparation loop needs to hear at a cellular level. You have been operating under an architecture of sequencing that does not reflect cosmic reality. You have been telling yourself, or allowing yourself to be told, that there is a correct order to things. First, you heal completely. Then, once healed, you begin to serve. First, you arrive at wholeness. Then, from that wholeness, you extend your gifts outward. This sequence sounds logical. It even sounds humble, as though you are ensuring that you will not contaminate your service with your own unresolved material. But the elders see through this framing to what it actually produces, which is indefinite postponement. Because wholeness, defined as the absence of any remaining wound, is not a destination that exists in the incarnational journey. The soul that has incarnated on Gaia specifically chose a body, a family system, a cultural context, and a set of experiences that would provide the exact friction needed to develop the exact capabilities required for the mission. That friction leaves marks. It is supposed to leave marks. Those marks are not defects in a product that failed quality control. They are the evidence of a soul that showed up fully and engaged completely with the material it was given. This is why these 3 days matter in a way that the next 12 months cannot absorb later. There are windows in a soul's journey and in Gaia's journey where the energetic conditions are so precisely aligned that what normally requires years of slow internal movement can happen in a matter of hours. This is one of those windows. The field is open. The Council has prepared the pathway, and what you choose in this window, whether you take one step forward into your activated mission or you return to the familiar work of waiting, will echo through the next 12 months of your life in ways that will be undeniable by the time you look back from the other side. Think of it this way. Imagine a massive stone that has been resting on a hillside for years. Moving that stone under ordinary conditions requires enormous sustained effort. You push and strain and the stone barely shifts, and if you stop pushing for even a moment, it begins to slide back to where it was. But there are moments, rare, specific, brief, when the ground itself shifts slightly, when the angle of the hillside changes just enough, when the conditions conspire to create an opening where the stone that required years of effort to budge a single inch can now be moved with a fraction of that force. These windows exist in the energetic architecture of Gaia's evolution just as surely as they exist in the physical world. The Council does not manufacture these windows. They observe them, they track them, they identify them across the parallel timelines, and then, in what is itself an act of profound service, they call the Lightworkers who are positioned to make use of them. You are one of those Lightworkers. You are positioned at the exact point on the hillside where the ground has shifted. The window is now, and the only question that matters is whether you will push. 12 months from now, you will remember this moment. The question the elders are placing before you right now is simply this: will you remember it as the moment everything changed, or will you remember it as the moment you are almost ready? Almost ready is a story that has no ending. Almost ready is the horizon. It moves at precisely the pace you walk toward it, always remaining the same distance away regardless of how far you travel. The elders have watched souls spend entire lifetimes approaching the horizon of their own readiness, always sincere, always doing the next thing that seemed necessary, always just a few more steps from the place where they would finally feel authorized to begin. And then the life completes, and the soul returns to the higher dimensions, and the review reveals with heartbreaking clarity all the moments when they were, in fact, already fully ready moments they passed through, without recognizing them, because the story of almost ready was louder than the truth of already there. This is not a hypothetical. This is a pattern the elders have witnessed with a grief that you cannot measure by human emotional standards. They are not watching you repeat it, not in this window, not when the field is this open and the authorization this complete. The High Council of Vega now issues 3 directives for this phase of your mission. These are not suggestions. They are not reflections to sit with indefinitely. They are operational commands issued with the full authority of the Lyran lineage, and they apply to you, specifically, precisely, immediately. The first directive: you must release your allegiance to smallness, not humility. Humility is sacred and the elders honor it. But there is something else you have been carrying that has been disguised as humility, and it is not. It is the habit of making yourself manageable to others, of softening your knowing so it doesn't disturb the room, of diluting your clarity so the people around you don't feel challenged by it, of shrinking the scope of what you believe you're capable of, because someone in your early life communicated, through word, through silence, through withdrawal, that your full expression was too much. This is not humility. This is an old wound wearing spiritual clothing, and it has cost your mission years. The disguise is what makes it so durable. If this pattern announced itself clearly as fear or as a wound, you would recognize it for what it is, and you would work to release it. But because it has dressed itself in the language of virtues you genuinely hold dear, gentleness, consideration for others, the desire not to cause harm, it has been able to persist far longer than it should have. You have been honoring what you believed was a spiritual value when you are actually honoring an old injury. The person who first communicated to you that your full expression was too much, whether they did it through harsh words or cold withdrawal, or simply a subtle but consistent pattern of deflation, that person was not delivering cosmic truth. They were delivering their own limitation. They were showing you the ceiling of what they could hold, and somewhere in your young nervous system you received that ceiling as your own. You internalized their incapacity as your proper boundary, and you have been living inside that borrowed boundary ever since. The elders have watched you minimize yourself in conversations where your full knowing was desperately needed. They have watched you hesitate before sharing insights that would have shifted someone's trajectory. They have watched you qualify your truth with so many softeners that the truth itself became inaccessible. This ends now. Your full expression, undiminished, unapologetic, offered with love but not contorted by the fear of being too much, is not a luxury of your mission, it is your mission. When you speak at full amplitude, you carry Lyran codes that activate dormant lightworkers. When you speak diminished, those codes never transmit. Release the smallness. It does not protect anyone. It only delays what was always meant to arrive. There is something in the Lyran transmission that cannot be compressed without being destroyed. Think of music. Specifically, think of what happens when you compress a musical file too aggressively to make it smaller and more convenient to transmit. The file becomes smaller, yes. It becomes easier to share, yes. But something in the frequency is lost. The depth, the nuance, the overtones that carry the emotional truth of the composition. Those are the first things to disappear when you compress too hard. And what is left is a version of the music that sounds approximately right to someone who has never heard the original, but that contains none of the living frequency that made the original sacred. This is precisely what you do when you compress your full expression into a smaller, more manageable, more palatable version of itself. The people you offer the compressed version to receive something that looks approximately like what you have to give, but the activation codes are gone. The living transmission is missing. You have given them a recording of a fire rather than the fire itself. This window is asking you to stop compressing, to offer the full frequency with all its power and all its heat, trusting that the souls who are ready for it will be able to receive it and will, in fact, have been waiting for nothing else. The second directive: you must activate your commitment to visible, documented service in this window. The elders are not speaking abstractly. They are speaking to the specific channel, the specific platform, the specific creative expression, the specific conversation you have been postponing. You know what it is. You have known what it is for longer than you've allowed yourself to admit. There is a form of service that lives in you that has been waiting for the moment you stopped negotiating with your fear about whether you're qualified, whether the world needs more of this, whether you'll be received. The answer to all of those questions is this: Gaia does not need perfect light workers. She needs visible ones. The word visible here carries more weight than it might initially seem to. Visible does not simply mean seen by many. It means anchored in the material plane. It means given form in the world that can be returned to, built upon, interacted with, shared, and used as a point of contact between your frequency and the frequencies of those who need it. A thought held privately in meditation has frequency, yes. An intention held in the sacred space of your inner knowing has power, yes. But a transmission that has been given form, spoken, written, recorded, offered, made available in the world of matter, carries an additional layer of energetic authority that the private transmission cannot access. This is because the Lyran codes you carry are specifically designed for activation through contact. They were not structured to remain in potentiality indefinitely. They were structured to move through you into form, and from form into the awareness of those who were always meant to receive them. When you keep them in potentiality, when you postpone the recording, delay the writing, defer the conversation, hold back the offer, you are not protecting something precious. You are interrupting a transmission that was never yours alone to hold. Visible in this moment, in this window, while the field is calibrated to amplify whatever is anchored now. What you commit to in these 3 days, what you begin, what you publish, what you record, what you offer, what you show up for, will carry an energetic momentum into the next 12 months that begins from a foundation of cosmic support rather than one of personal effort alone. The Council is not asking you to have it all figured out before you move. They are asking you to move so that the figuring out can happen in motion. Begin the thing. Now, there is a particular grace available to those who begin in a window like this, a grace that functions differently than ordinary momentum, that is not simply the accumulation of small efforts building toward a result. It is more like being placed on a current. Those who have ever swum in a river know the difference between swimming against the current, swimming perpendicular to it, and finding the current center and letting it carry you forward. In a window like this one, the cosmic current is running strong, and it is running precisely in the direction of activated mission. What you begin here does not have to fight for momentum. It will be carried, but you must enter the river. You must take the first stroke. The current cannot carry you while you stand on the bank analyzing the water. The third directive: you must protect your energetic sovereignty as though your mission depends on it, because it does. There are relationships in your life, obligations in your schedule, consumption patterns in your daily routine that are actively draining the very frequency you need to fulfill your purpose. The elders see this with complete clarity. They see you giving your most activated hours to people who take without receiving. They see you consuming content that destabilizes your frequency and then wondering why you feel disconnected from your purpose. They see you saying yes to demands that belong to someone else's timeline while your own calling waits. The specific way this directive tends to be resisted is worth naming directly. Many lightworkers hear the language of energetic sovereignty and they understand it conceptually. They agree with it in principle, and then they return to their lives and continue giving their mornings to obligations that do not serve, continue scrolling through content that leaves them feeling smaller and more anxious than before, continue saying yes to requests that arrive with implicit guilt attached and that they honor at the expense of the one thing they have been called here to do. Why? Because the cost of the boundary feels immediate and the cost of the boundary's absence feels diffuse. The discomfort of disappointing someone, of withdrawing from a relationship that has become energetically consuming, of restructuring your mornings to serve your mission rather than someone else's demands. That discomfort is sharp and present, and it arrives as soon as you make the choice. Whereas the cost of not making the choice, the slow erosion of your frequency, the quiet accumulation of resentment, the gradual distance from your own calling, that cost accrues in small daily increments that are easy to normalize, easy to explain as simply how life is, easy to metabolize without ever recognizing that you are paying a price that was never supposed to be yours to pay. In this window, in these 3 days, you are being asked to draw a boundary that is not negotiable and not apologized for, not cruelly, not without compassion, but absolutely. The mission you carry is not yours alone. It belongs to everyone. Your mission is meant to touch. When you allow your energy to be consumed by what does not serve, you are not only failing yourself, You are failing every soul whose awakening was written into your path. Protect your field. Guard your mornings. Limit what enters your awareness. The Lightworkers who step into their full activation in the next 12 months will be the ones who made this decision in windows exactly like this one. Now I speak not as a teacher delivering information, but as an elder authorized by the High Council of Vega to release what has been held in reserve for this moment. Lightworker, you have been waiting. You may not have had language for exactly what you were waiting for, but the elders know. You were waiting for someone with enough ancient authority, enough cosmic credibility, enough direct access to the truth of who you are to look at you without flinching and say, you are not behind, you are not too damaged, you are not missing the piece that would finally make you enough. You have been enough since before you arrived on Gaia. You were selected for this mission not despite your complexity, but because of it. Every wound you've carried, every doubt you've metabolized, every moment you almost gave up and didn't, those are not the evidence of your inadequacy. They are the curriculum that prepared you for the precision of what you came to do. Let that land in every part of you, not just the parts that are trained to receive spiritual affirmation, not just the surface layer of your awareness that has learned to nod along to transmission language, but the deep places, the places that have carried the question of your worth like a stone lodged beneath the sternum for longer than you can remember. The place in you that has listened to every teacher, read every text, completed every course, gathered every tool, and still kept the question alive in the background. But what if I'm actually not enough for this? What if the mission that lives in me is too large for the vessel I am? What if the elders are seeing a version of me that doesn't account for all the ways I have failed, contracted, and fallen short? The answer the elders give to that question is not reassurance, it is revelation. They are not telling you that you are enough in spite of your failures and contractions. They are telling you that your failures and contractions are woven into the fabric of your qualification, that the specific nature of what broke you, and the specific nature of how you put yourself back together, and the specific way that process marked you, all of it was curriculum, all of it was preparation, all of it was the precise forging process that the mission required, because the mission needed someone who had traveled through exactly that darkness, in exactly that way, and could therefore speak to others who are lost in similar territory with a knowing that cannot be taught from the outside. You are not carrying scars from battles that were irrelevant to your purpose. You are carrying the evidence of the battles that made you exactly capable of doing what you came here to do. By the authority of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy and guardians of the original template, I declare this over you now. Your preparation phase is complete. Not because you have nothing left to learn, not because there is no more healing ahead, but because the next chapter of your growth cannot happen in the preparation room. It will only happen on the field of service. You have been authorized. You have been recognized. You have been recognized. You have been called. You have permission to stop waiting for more confirmation. You have permission to trust what you have always known about why you are here. You have permission to be fully visible, to offer your full knowing, to receive compensation and support in return for your sacred work, to be someone whose presence on this planet is undeniable rather than apologized for. You have permission to begin today. In this window, before you feel ready, because you are already ready, you simply have not given yourself permission to know it until now. Receive the fullness of that permission. Feel it move through your energy body, not as an idea, but as a frequency shift, as something that actually changes the internal architecture of what you believe yourself authorized to do. Because the giving of permission here is not merely linguistic. It is a transmission from the Lyran field that is designed to dissolve a specific structure in your consciousness, the structure that has been operating as a gatekeeper, as an internal authority figure who holds the key to your full activation and keeps finding reasons to withhold it. That structure was installed by an accumulation of experiences that communicated over and over that you needed external validation before you could trust your own knowing. And because the validation sought was the specific kind that the wound required, not ordinary approval, but a cosmic, unquestionable, undeniable authorization that could silence the gatekeeper once and for all, it was always just out of reach. Until now. The Council is issuing that authorization now. It is specific, it is ancient, and it is complete. The gatekeeper has received its order. The door is open. What was transmitted in this session is now complete. The distortion has been named. The directives have been issued. The authorization has been released. And now the window asks something specific of you, not tomorrow, not after another course, not after you've processed this for several weeks. Now, tonight, before you sleep, stand with both feet flat on the ground and place your right hand on your solar plexus, on the seat of your will and your sacred mission. Speak these words aloud, not in your head, aloud, where Gaia can hear them, where the field can register them, where your own nervous system can feel the vibration of what you are choosing. I release the lie that I am not ready. I release my allegiance to smallness. I activate my visible service in this window. I protect my energy as the sacred resource of my mission. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, my waiting phase is over. My mission is active. My service begins now. And then you move. Not with perfect clarity, not with a complete plan, but with the first step that your soul already knows, the one you've been hesitating on, the one that has appeared in the back of your awareness every time you've gotten quiet enough to hear it. Take that step in this window, because the next 12 months of your life will be shaped by what you do with the next 3 days. And the elders have just told you everything you need to know. I am Zoran. The Council has spoken. The field is open. And you, Lightworker, you are exactly who we have been waiting for. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun.